think, Jerome, we are ready to go. Everyone, are you
Yes.
in good shape, ready to go? Yes.
Show a reaction with a thumbs up on your screen.
It's a yes. It's a yes.
Yeah, it looks like it's a great yes. Okay, great. Okay, let's go. Jerome, you are the master of
Okay.
ceremony for this cross pitch.
That's great. And I see David. Okay, everyone's there. So good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or good night soon if you're more from the West Coasts and etc. Ricardo's laughing. Maybe he's in San Francisco. So welcome to day 2 of the hackathon, or still day 1 actually for those few of you who seem to have pulled an all-nighter or just a little nap at the end of the night. So we will kick off Saturday actually with a second session of cross pitches. Before that, just maybe share a few words and insights. As a hackathon is a kind of a unique experience. As you can see, we're all looking at people in their homes. Most of them we don't know, so it's also a moment of privacy where we learn to meet people. And so maybe a first question for you to think about as well is, what did you experience yesterday? 2 things. Did you learn something, and did you meet someone? If in any case the answer is no to one of them, take the opportunity this morning to try to meet a bit more someone in your team. You can have a one-to-one chat, a group call, or if you see someone is too shy, you haven't heard them, without putting them on the spot, try to ask them something, and so that they can be a bit more active, proactive, or feel comfortable in your team. The second thing, if you didn't learn something, just try to do so. I learned something yesterday. I can give the example is we're building a chatbot and integrating it in a landing page. And we did all that at 1:30 in the morning. And four of our team were all together in a Zoom trying to figure out how it works. So we collectively learned something. We discovered each other's skills and how we support each other. So do try to do that today if you feel you could learn or meet someone a bit more. So without further ado, what we're going to do is start the second session of cross pitches, which will be a bit shorter. So I suggest, I'm not going to share a timer, but roughly 90 seconds. Maybe Julia, you want to share your screen with a timer up to you, or give us the buzz every time someone is reaching 90 seconds, a little dong. And the objective will be to pitch your solution to the challenge, and then you can take 30 extra seconds, so for a total of 2 minutes, to maybe mention one challenge you're facing this morning, as we did yesterday, and we're asking everyone to contribute through the chat to help that team, that person, with a link, with an idea, or with reaching out to help them solve that challenge for the day. So today what we're going to do is take the reverse order, starting from the challenge number 15. As I understand, 16 and 17, the marketplace and the family office measuring are not present. And then, so we're going to go reverse order. I'm just going to name the challenge and you're going to come up with someone. So I hope you're ready for that. So Julia, anything else, or should we start? Should we do 2 minutes of stretch and breathe? No?
Yeah, no. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we're going to start with team number 15 for the global supply chains versus local production. I guess you can unmute yourselves, or Julia has to do it. You need to raise your thumb. I don't know.
They have to unmute, but maybe they are not here.
Okay.
So go ahead and I will ask them. Thanks.
Shout out 3, 2, 1. No one is there yet.
Yes, Ed, you are here. Ed, it's your turn. If you are, ready?
So let's move on. Maybe he's on his bike, traveling, whatever.
Okay.
Just we pick them later. No problem.
Okay, team 14, increasing transparency and efficiency of the green bond life cycle. It's maybe someone of the team who's too shy. Just give it a shot. Explain your project. If the person who was going to pitch or the storyteller is not there, no worries. Just take this time to describe where you stand and how you've been able to go towards a solution to the challenge. Green bond life cycle. Anyone with us? 3, 2, 1, cut. Team 13, theory of change on early stage venture capital. I see people laughing. Maybe they don't dare unmute themselves. Ines, you seem like you're smiling at this one. You want to take the word? Is it yours? No?
I'm part of this group, and I think
hello,
I'm the
Dorina.
only one of my team at the moment. And our goal is to develop a theory of change in early stage venture capital, as 2 of the group started a company that wants to provide venture capital for green startups. And they are a bit stuck on how to approach their business further, and we are developing solutions on what they need to do urgently and what not. And we found so far that they need like capital, and they really should provide infrastructure to the startups. And then we also found that it would be very important to measure like the future impact the startups would have, because they only want to support like sustainable startups, and it's a big deal to like find out if they are sustainable or not, or will be sustainable or not. And then we just like mapped what we know and what we assume and our long-term goals and everything that. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. So if anyone has knowledge on venture capital, you can share some things in the message or something. Maybe I won't react to each project. I'll let everyone react in the text. Next up, thank you very much, vielen Dank, Dorina. Next up, challenge 12: collaborative investment for ESG impact.
Okay, it's my turn. So we just started to build the platform with all the database needs and a little bit of graphical interface. We added a chat feature so that members of a project can collaborate together. Yeah, it's going well.
Thank you, Dejan. It's good to know it's going well. Maybe try to think what could go better. Anything could go better. You have a few hours left to be on stage with a video, with a pitch.
Sure.
Okay, so we have a team that has the A team with the Agence Tourisque. They have the whole toolbox. That's great to hear. We can then move to the next one. Sorry, I closed my little tab with the projects. Okay, so team 11, SDG Central Bank Simulation.
Yes, so good morning. I managed to wake up this morning, the team also. So maybe I could briefly share a slide if it's possible. Can I share the screen to show you, because it will be clearer with a picture?
Sure, let's go,
Voilà,
go ahead.
Here it is. So that's a bit, so the name of our project is the SDG Central Bank Simulation, and the idea is to, on one hand, to collect a microtax on electronic transaction, and on the other hand, to allocate these resources to what we call doing good enterprises. And so on the upper picture, you see the governance of this SDG Central Bank. So the idea is that it would be a college inspired by the Société Coopérative d'Intérêt Collectif, which is like a cooperative, but with a difference where you have colleges of different stakeholders. So you would have one college would be the private sector, the philanthropy sector, the NGOs, the population, and so on. And together they will decide on two issues. the level of the micro tax fee is at 0.1% or 0.2, etc., and also on the allocation of the distribution of the money. And so that's a bit where we are now. I think we just want also to put something in the chat now. Wait, I will stop the screen sharing. So you have it. Oops, sorry. Yeah. I wrote down some ideas. So we started our discussion. Today we base our simulation on the fact that the micro tax is granted, meaning that we would believe that it would be adopted, and so that's our starting point. Then also in the group there was maybe a confusion with the central bank name, because some people thought it would be strictly a central bank, and here it's maybe more a metaphoric word to consider a pooling mechanism where you collect the money and then you allocate. Then in terms of implementation, we think that it will be very difficult to start at the worldwide level. So we could start with one country and progressively add other countries and until you reach the world. And the challenges that we have is how to assure a decentralized allocation mechanism with sufficient level of control on the fund use and also an impact evaluation. And we are working on that. So that's a bit where we are now. Voilà.
Thank you very much. Merci, François. Next challenge, do react, please, in the teams. Help each one. Maybe I should tag the name of the person, but tag their name or the challenge if you remember. Next one up is challenge number 10, creating social cohesion and trust through sharing business equity. Is that you, Violette? I see hands up. Or no, Ben, yes. Hello, Ben.
It's me. Good morning and good afternoon. Thank you very much. Well, I'm the only person of my team on the call, so I can pretty much get away with saying anything at this stage, I think.
Luis is there. Isn't Luis there? He's waving.
Ah, hello. So what we've been working on is a theory of change. We've been trying to establish what it is that that drives social cohesion and trust. And this has drawn us towards looking at pro-social behavior and exploring whether we can use the several $1 million worth of equity that we have already received pledged from various entrepreneurs to prompt that pro-social behavior. Now, we have a small team without technical expertise in it, so I think it's unlikely we will reach a minimum viable product technical demonstration today. What we're doing instead is we're focusing on exploring what functionality, what features, what characteristics such a tool might have. What that means in practice is we're trying to figure out how we can create a consumer experience which is as compelling and engaging as possible and which leads people progressively down a path towards more pro-social behavior. So our particular needs at this stage, aside from the technical capacity, which I think we may need to turn to later, is we're very keen to understand how and if and how one can prompt pro-social behavior. So any thoughts you have on what pro-social behavior is and how to prompt it, incredibly valuable to us in the next few hours. Thank you very much.
Maybe you can merge with the Nudge project later on. You'll see their demo and pitch. Thanks, Ben. So next up is team number 9, financing water security for peace.
We're here. Hello.
Where there's too many faces.
Yes, so for our side, we are a crowdfunding platform for private individuals and organizations focused on countries where the water issue is the most pertinent and attracting private investment there. These countries being, for example, Eritrea, Papua New Guinea, Uganda, Ethiopia, Somalia, Angola, and Democratic Republic of Congo. So there, on average, there is around 70% lack of basic water services. So far, we have identified potential partners and collaborators, being the Geneva Water Hub, Solidarito, Swiss, and Innovate for Water, as well as potential sponsors and accelerators, both of them being specifically concentrated on water projects as well as on the sustainability projects in general. Those are Imagine H2O and the Sustainable Accelerator. And we have mapped the steps and identified the resources needed to develop the online platform, number of developers, approximate cost, which is being in calculation, and the time necessary for development, approximately 3 to 4 months on average. And currently, we're trying to develop a stakeholder map describing the mechanism of the platform more precisely, and also to map the marketing steps necessary for the maximum visibility of the platform and assess the existing water project. And the challenge that we're facing right now, in fact, is the prototyping and visualizing the platform's interface, as we're lacking people with IT skills, and probably someone could help us. Thank you.
So maybe as a reminder for everyone, when you think of prototype technology, etc., you don't necessarily need to be a developer or coder. You can also look for designers. So people who have this more skill of, and Dragana, or your designer, you're raising your hand. So share in the chat and reach out to Daria to help her. Even if you're not a coder, you can be a designer and use the Figma. Maybe it takes you half an hour, use Figma and help this water team out. Next up is project number, so 7 and 8, I heard they merged eCotton's paperless with digital certificates. Who's up? Don't be shy.
That was the 9.
Yes, digital certificates for sustainable trading and banking, and eCotton's paperless credit card receipts. Is the team here with us?
They have some problem to connect here.
Okay.
I have. You can contact them in Slack. They are already there. 4 person.
Okay, Julia, we'll ask them to come back at the end. We move on. Team 6 using nudge theory to make people to invest.
Okay, so that's us. We are working on an app, so Nudgy, and with that app, we will be able to share your good action to get good points. And that's the first part of the app. And then the other part is that you can invest to use and get more good points into investing in a sustainable platform. So we are working on the chat box, and it's coming. So I think we are in a good way of working, and we are looking how to finance the good points too. So we thought about sustainable partners that we can have and that we can promote through the app. And for now, I think we are here. So if you have other idea how to finance our good points, I think we can take it.
Merci, Guillaume. Thank you, Guillaume. Next up, Team 6, bridging the sustainable finance skills gap. Seems just like yesterday, this skills has a bit of a scramble. Come on, Anyone from the skills team, even if it's not up to you, you think to pitch, if you don't feel too comfortable, we're here in a friendly cross pitch session. No one's gonna bite you. They will all send you thumbs up and claps via the Zoom. Anyone here to present the project?
Yes, we are all here, and Elena is going to present, but I think that right now she's frozen. At least,
It's the fear or it's the IT?
let's hope it's the IT part.
Maybe Ines, would you like to take over for her? Do you feel comfortable doing so?
No, because we have kind of organized it.
Ooh, so we'll get back to you right after for project 5. Then we go to 4, measuring progress of financial centers towards achievement of Paris Agreement.
Yes, hello, good morning. We are I'm going to be a representative of the 4th topic today. And after a thorough discussion yesterday and a study of the market of measurement of environmental impact, we've made a conclusion that we are not going to be able to present a direct one solution, but rather a set of directions that are concluded in a system. After looking through all the possibilities that we had in our minds, we've accumulated 7 main features of the solutions that we would like to present, and based on these features, we could summarize these features in 3 different schemas. And in this format, we will be presenting our final decision in the format of 3 possible schemas with 7, which will be consistent with 7 main features and 4 internal criteria. And all these 3 schemas are consistent with the 3 main similarities that they have. Each schema will be consistent with a certain online platform and will refer to a benchmark on a national level in each country, as long as it will be easier for each country to analyze its environmental impact individually. And each schema involves the accumulation and analysis of both qualitative and quantitative data. And targets for today are to define and polish our 3 schemas, organize them in a good way so that it makes it understandable and presentable, and finalize specific units, in a sense, features of each schema, like measurement indices and qualitative characteristics. Thank you.
I'm typing my comment. Okay, thank you very much, Sophia. It sounds like you're building a new unit of the United Nations. So we'll see you in Geneva with some flags in front of your startup project.
I hope so. Thank you.
So I heard from, who was it? Elena. Hello, Elena. Maybe we switch back to you for project 5 on the skills gap.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me now? Sorry, I had some, okay, great. I had some technical problems with my sound. So thank you for giving me the word. And I want to present our progress made on our challenge. It was like a really great progress during the evening and night a little bit. So we are working on bridging the skills gap, which was identified by the financial institutions and brought to the attention to the European Commission. And it's really nice to see that there is a demand side on this market, on the market of the experienced sustainable finance experts. So we came up with several ideas, and because we think it's really important to meet the demand right now, we developed some immediate measures, and we think that for that networking can work really well. And as part of the project or the challenge, one platform for Ireland was presented, which is bringing together the expertise and also the potential employers. And we think that this experience shall be multiplied and maybe extended to create not just the national platform, but international platform for such type of networking. Of course, as a longer term solution, we think that there shall be a dialogue between the educational institutions and the financial institutions to create the full-scale sustainable finance courses, bachelor master's programs, and this will really need the effort from the financial institutions as well. First of all, to be really transparent and share their visions and approaches to what is sustainable finance for them and what exactly they need from the market, which kind of experts they need and want. Also, they probably should help with those programs because we fully acknowledge that this field is really dynamic and the instruments and approaches which were used today might be not valid in 1 year anymore. So we think that those programs should include internships, guest speakers, and lots of interactions with the real world. The separate challenge is to educate the executives, which are actually making decisions on how the change and the transformation of the financial institutions will be. And here we want to engage the professional associations and executive forums. And we also realize that it's a very complex issue. That's why probably there is not enough expertise. And we really encourage such solutions as one of the challenges, which I think is not followed anymore. And it's a huge pity, like creation of a marketplace with the comparable indices to make the life of the financial experts easier so that you can go to one place and just have all the information on the sustainability of potential investments, etc. And from the policymakers, we would expect to keep sustainability high on the political agenda to create the overall understanding that sustainability is important, to create the demand for sustainable financial products and the demand for sustainable behavior from the companies, including the financial institutions. So this is our framework. And also we have several questions to the audience. We will post them in the chat, but probably if I have a few seconds, I can also ask them here. Yeah, okay, so one is pretty generic. We would like to know what different stakeholders think about the sustainable finance education, what kind of education they think is relevant and who should provide it, because obviously the sustainable finance knowledge is now deposed in different places, like in academia, in consultancies, in the financial institutions themselves. So what would be the channels, the recipients and the providers of these education? And the second one is to, how do you think it's possible to pool all the voices of the financial institutions in terms of the expertise resources to really create the educational programs which would meet the demand, but not the demand of just one institution, because we know that sustainability strategies can be really individual for different financial institutions. How to create the collective voice of the financial institutions that would be really useful and I think sustainable in terms of how we design the future educational programs. Thank you.
Thank you, Elena. I'm wondering, Judith, if we can have the pitch of Judith Jr. Does he want to say something? Maybe 10 words about what he thinks sustainable finance is for him. What is the environment and animals? Can he say a few words? How to help animals and nature?
They are watching Paw Patrol, so animals is not a bad idea. My 6-year-old, she can talk about palm oil and the problem with palm oil. She could do that. But
is she there?
yeah.
Maybe that's a good parenthesis while Team 15 gets ready.
Yeah, now they have Paw Patrol, so they should be quiet, so I don't want to disrupt that.
Okay, so Arna from Team 15 before we continue with Team 3. Arne?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Hello, hello.
So I don't know if everyone is here from my team because we're going to, two people are going to speak, but I'll quickly remind you what our project was. So we are working on the project by Susanna de Treville about local versus remote production. So as we showcased yesterday, we had a couple of challenges ahead of us, and the main idea was to generate a sort of ideas to showcase them through a startup, imaginary startup. So this is what we started doing. We came with a little name and decided on what we were going to do with it. And we have so come up with a sort of prototype for an app that would allow us to not only like be an actual startup, but also showcase the elements highlighted in the research from the professor, and also just make these concepts more easily understandable by everyone. So I think Kimi is going to share her screen so she can quickly present
Can
the
you
prototype
guys
we
see
have.
the screen? I hope you guys hear me well and see the screen well.
Yes, we
So
see it.
that's the homepage of the app. So we can here click on it and just explain quickly why, what is our brand and what it does. Then we can just pop up to the front page again. And so here's actually a good sum up about what Arne say. So it is made in Geneva and it's from PLA. And then we just give them the possibility to just repair their hats or just give us back their worn out hats so that they can we can do some fiber from it again. So then here are the products. So we have put a few pictures, and we say that we can customize it. And then all of those tabs are actually explaining the reason and what's behind it, with actually a little link that will, I hope you still see my screen.
Yeah, we still see it.
Okay, and just gonna go to the game that has been presented to us at the beginning of the challenge. So that's the game from Suzanne de Treville and Jordan.
So quickly, this is how we made this game. Allows us like to sort of simulate what happens when you order from offshore and offshore production or locally, and so that's kind of how we started by looking at this this game and deciding okay, what costs need to be taken into account, what's more easy, what's more difficult to do, and that's how we came up with a few graphs that are also in this app to highlight all these points. So yeah.
And guys, and probably we can say, I don't know if Ed is here, because I would really love to say a couple of words about the logo, which actually Ed has created, which, Kimi, if you could please just share the screen
Yes,
again.
I was about to ask you if you wanted me to share the screen. Just a second. Well, okay, I'm just going to the front page. No, here.
If you can just make it, yeah. So what can you see on the logo? Actually, so you can see a smiling face, you can see two eyes, you can see a smile, you can see a little hat on the top. I think it's just an amazing piece that Ed has created, which actually has in it like all the necessary components of our idea. It's like, first of all, it's hats because we produce hats. Second, it's circle because all of the hats are circled. Actually, they can be recycled or they can be fixed. So it's like the circle which never ends, I would say. And smile because it's good to the nature. It's good to the customer because they can have it quickly and have a hat which is customized. And it's good to the business owners because we still are able to generate nice profit. Then why is it hoopla? So PLA, it's because of the material of which we are going to be producing the product. And a hoop actually, so it's like a hoop again, a circle, which is actually positive for our planet. So that was the logo that we created.
Thank you very much. I'm sure we all learned something, so that's great. That's why I didn't cut you off for the additional time you took, but maybe Julia will remind us of the rules for the last pitch, and it will be a bit more stringent on the time. But thank you very much for taking the time now. We all learned something, and we can bring that back to our own challenge teams and maybe revise our logos to link it with meaning. Next team is team number 3, Earth Observation for Impact Finance at Scale.
Hello. You hear me? Yes. Okay. So the main problem was the first is Earth observation. The second is financial sustainable finance. For Earth observation, as you know, the possibilities are huge. This is the main problem. So because we have to decide, we have to think well about what we're gonna analyze, what we're gonna see, observe. And the second problem is sustainable finance, is how to link this wonderful tool provided by Pictera. How we're gonna link this tool to help locals to what is the link with financial sustainable finance. So we came up with this idea. So the brainstorming was very long. So we came up finally with this idea to create a platform, because we have the information, we can have the information, and we're gonna link the cities with urban farmers as a way to create more jobs, to I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, to create jobs, to reduce emissions, to make city more, to optimize the city, to make them more green. And yeah, that's all. So now we are working on the platform, and we also find a way to a system of microcredits that we can give the user microcredits at low rate. So yeah, that's all.
Yeah, if I might add a few things, yeah, the idea was really about supporting this urban rooftop farming culture in especially developing countries. And this microcredit system was a way to sort of incentivize this and help individuals start their own businesses on top of various rooftops. So that was sort of the sustainable finance aspect of it. I can speak a bit more to the Earth observation part, which is that you need to actually find rooftops that are flat, first of all, to be able to actually build the farms in the first place. It's not necessarily just in your own garden or whatever. Oftentimes these developing cities are super cluttered. It's hard to find space. So using Pictera, we can actually detect, first of all the buildings if the cadastre doesn't already exist, using just RGB imagery. And then you can actually get SAR imagery to determine the flatness of the roofs. So you can really narrow down which roofs are viable versus not for farming. And then from that, the platform would basically allow municipalities to sort of say, hey guys, here are the available rooftops that you could potentially farm things. And meanwhile, individuals could also log on to the platform and be like, okay, we're interested in using this particular rooftop for our farming needs. And there's some details to work out of how basically the municipality would rent out rooftops of other buildings or apartment buildings, etc. That's something to work out. And then the final aspect of it is that this whole thing works towards this this greenifying of developing cities to make sure that they develop in a way that is green in the long run. And part of that is to remove dependence from this whole mass farm, large farm culture that you see, especially in developed nations like, say, the US, for example. And so the hope is that if you can develop a culture where all the food is being all the food is generated from the city itself, from urban farms, then perhaps you never run into a situation where these mass farms are relied upon and these gigantic, like Migros and Co-op will never exist in the first place. So that's a bit of the hope of this plan. And we can also do finally a green metric. So we can measure the amount of vegetation using Pictera in the city compared to the amount of urban area. It can sort of give each city a score of how green their city is. So they can sort of keep track of the progress over time of their urban farm development. Yep. That's all we got.
Thank you very much, Roger. I think your pitch is going to have some nice imagery as well of cities of the future and how to bring all of that in our daily life. Next project is project team number 2, neuro-informed fundraising with virtual reality.
I will talk about it. So we have quite a big team. We're 15 and most of us are quite active, which is great, but sometimes a bit difficult to work all together. So we're big users of Zoom chat rooms to split in different groups. So what's good also in our team is that we have 2 people. So it's increasing fundraising for the ICRC. Using virtual reality. So virtual reality is already something that the ICRC is using for their employees to prepare them on the field before they go to really experience what the reality they will be seeing when they go into the war zones. And this is something we aim to transfer to donors. And for the moment, most of the donors is institutional, and the ICRC would like to increase maybe the private donors. What we realize is that the private donors is a big word and can go from private companies to ultra high net worth individuals, or to people like us who may give a small amount, but on a larger scale. What we've identified as challenges is that there's a misconception of the ICRC identity because it's often mixed with the National Red Cross or Red Crescent in the countries. There's also a false idea of where the money goes. A lot of people think it's a big institution, so the cost is covering more the admin piece than really the action on the ground. And personally, I don't recall having received some fundraising campaign about ICRC. But their unique value proposition, on the other hand, is they do action in a zone where there's no one or few other organizations who go. They have international recognition in the sense that it's the logo, it's colors that people know. And they have neutrality, so don't take side in a conflicting zone. And they both act as emergency relief and long-term, and have long-term action. So where the differentiating factor for this campaign is really the virtual reality, where, as another team mentioned earlier, we want to provide a consumer experience to like a field trip, but without any cost or without any risk for the person who's going to be experiencing this. And that's where the most technical people in the team have been working, and they work late at night. So some of them are not here this morning, but to really develop this universe for somebody like us who would be experiencing what it is, and to understand better what's the work of the people, not only raising pity of seeing people in difficult situation, but understanding as well what's the work of ICRC. And then that's an incentive for people to say, okay, I will give money to this organization because I feel closer to what their reality is. Basically, I don't know if anyone else in the team has something to add. Okay.
Yes, a big thank you, Mariluz, for preparing this fantastic summary.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mariluz. I see you have the support of Giuseppe, so use the community, you know, send out for validation. We're a lot, so send out a little doodle, a survey. You can use us to show a statistic during your pitch that 60% of us think your solution is great, and there you go, you know. Next project, and there I lost my list again. I think we're on number number
the last one.
The last one.
Yes.
Then we will see if people are back. Stop financing human trafficking.
Okay, hi, good morning. Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello, Elodie. Yes.
Hello. Yes, okay. So we know that we cannot solve this issue in 24 hours. So we would, our team oriented our direction to offer guidelines while continuing to work on more concrete solutions that could be implemented later. Our guideline will help identify signs of human trafficking in the financial sector, and we hope to come to concrete solutions to such as improved transparency at all stages on investment, as an example. And here we also spoke about a blockchain, how we can use it to identify people, the victims, and how to then help them. And our main challenge afterward will be how to implement these guidelines and how to encourage others to use our guidelines that will, we hope, raise awareness. So this was about the project. And then to answer your questions you asked at the very beginning, Jérôme, yes, I've met new people, and I'm glad to be in a team with them because we have different backgrounds and different approaches on the project. And so we talk, yeah, we have a good discussions, and I think we are working very well together. And they stayed up late last night, and I see them here supporting me. So I thank them. And yeah, I think we've learned also not only on the subject, but also on the tools, how to make the videos for the pitch that we will have to submit at the end of the hackathon. That's it.
Okay, thank.
Oh, you are mute.
Yes. Is there a team that we missed in the beginning, team 14, or someone else who's back, is online and didn't have a word? Anyone? Everyone had a word? Everyone presented? Okay, great. So maybe Julia or Thomas, are there a few words you would like to say on the rest of the morning? How to make it most impactful? Order your breakfast on Smooth if you're in Geneva. There's a 60-minute waiting queue now, I see. So go for it, and you can have your brunch at least. You get a nice discount on it, so that's pretty cool. Any more?
Just a word about the pitch. So just I just send you some information on the chat, and it's about your pitch video. So use the guideline and the presentation on the folder, and don't forget the deadline is at 2 p.m. and at 10 p.m. Natalie will facilitate a Q&A session if you have question about the tool or how to create a good video for your pitch. Just come on and ask your question, and good luck for your job.
So congrats again. Thank you everyone for coming out towards the hackathon community and pitching. It comes by practice, right? It's not something, well, you're born with. It's the more you practice, the better you get at it. So that was good. And then pitch among yourselves within the team, right? You can go see your family, your friends, but within the team as well. During a Zoom session, you can time yourselves, practice, and suggest on the tone of voice. Try not to be monotonous, have some feelings through the message that you're conveying. Use some imagery, some logos, that's very, very interesting approach too.
Also a point about this point, Jérôme, on the methodology, on the library of resources, we can find a pocket lecture on the pitch, how to make a good pitch. So don't hesitate, feel free to see it and use this video to help you and create a good pitch and also a good video for your pitch.
Yeah, I must add, this video is mesmerizing. It's by John Zimmer, who is a professional speak coach, and I really recommend you to have a look at it because it's quite good.
So that wraps it up for Saturday morning Crosspitch. Enjoy the morning. Reach out to the team, to all of us if you have any questions, any doubt, and if you also experience any team issues, problems. Sometimes people come and go. We all have a personal and challenging situation, of course, maybe, but just communicate. If you see someone missing in your team, try to reach out. Why is he missing? And if he just can't contribute anymore, fine. Thank him for what they did yesterday. Or so try to be a lot of understanding, and we actually have also a specialist, David Lau, at the hackathon on nonviolent human communication, and so he's also there and can help you if you're facing any team complexity. Reach out to David Lau, based here in Geneva as well. Thanks everyone.